Welcome to another slow play with Legacy Monored Prison this time round. The deck lists have changed significantly because the deck is now playing everybody's favourite design mistake, Karn the Great Creator. Originally I was going to practice a league, then make a CFB video, and then make a slow play with the deck. But then I had some really fun games, so here's some fucking replays. We choose to play first, and we keep this hand. We play City of Traders, Chrome Mox, exile a Fiery Confluence, and make a Trinisphere. If this resolves with no counter magic, well, our opponent doesn't get to do much, right? They play a Polluted Delta and pass after it's resolved. They can't cast anything. Trinisphere makes all spells cost 3. That includes Dazes, Force of Wills, even free spells like Hogak still cost you 3 actual mana. The reason I'm playing this deck at the moment in Legacy is because Ren 6 is making mana bases very greedy, 3 and 4 color, so Blood Moon seems good, right? And then if you're like scared of Hogak out of, I don't know, Turbo Depths or Dredge or Bombardment or any other deck, why not just Trinisphere them, right? And of course Chalice of the Void is always good. We make 3 mana, play a mountain, sack the City of Traders. Good night, sweet prince, you've served us well. And we play a turn 2 Chandra, Torch of Defiance. Now, this card is gas. If you're not familiar with this deck, this card is removal, it's mana ramp to allow you to, like, for example, sack off your City of Traders or lock yourself slightly under your Trinisphere Blood Moon and recover, and it also, more importantly, draws you cards and gives you inevitability. The uptick not only finds you card advantage and finds you more threats, something the deck struggles to do normally, but once you get to 7 and you down tick it and just start casting any old shit, you get to zap your opponent in the face for 5 damage casting a Chalice on 0, or a redundant Trinisphere, or a shitty old third Blood Moon. Chandra Torch of Defiance is probably my favourite 4-mana planeswalker behind maybe Elspeth, Knight Errant or Gideon. I mean, she's better than fucking shitty old Jace, right? Chandra resolves, we uptick, we exile a mountain and shoot them for 2. They play a land. We draw Goblin Warboss. Now, our plan was to play the Blood Moon. Do we consider it? Yeah, we play Blood Moon. This allows them to go fetch a basic of the Polluted Delta, but ultimately it means that they now can't cast certain spells in their deck that will require green mana. Things like, I don't know, Abrupt Decays or Salsa's Trophies. Bearing in mind, we don't know what our opponent is even playing at this point in time. And it's at this point that they scoop it up. They're like, well, fuck.
Mission complete!
We see a hand of Mountain, Chrome Mox, Blood Moon, Goblin Wrathmaster, Legion Warboss, and Karn the Great Creator. The most important and problematic thing about this hand is although we've got a turn 2 Blood Moon or a turn 2 Legion Warboss or a turn 2 Rabblemaster, that simply isn't really good enough against a lot of the decks in the format. We shoot it back and we keep this 6 here. Now this hand isn't great because we don't actually have a threat. The aim of the Prison deck is to play lock pieces like Chalices and Trinispheres, and then go on to play threats like Rabmasters, Warbosses, Chandras, and Karns. We put a Soul Urn back at the bottom of our library, and we let them have their first turn. We are scared of Thoughtseize here, because it can take our Trinisphere, but we can still cast Chalice of the Void afterwards. However, we're better lucky than good, our opponent plays nothing and passes back to us. We drew another Chalice of the Void, which is okay, I guess. We play an Ancient Tomb, we play a Chrome Mox, and our Spirit Guide is extra mana, but we might as well get a long-term mana out of it by adding it to our Chrome Mox. For the low cost of 3 mana, we decided to make our opponent play less magic. Now, if they are a blue deck, they could have Daze here or Force of Will. We don't really know what they're playing. We did see a Polluted Delta in game 1, but the Trinisphere kind of resolves. Yeah, that's clunky. What that allows us to do is pass back to them with no fear of them casting any spells. That means on our turn, we can then resolve a Chalice of the Void on 1, 0, or 2, depending on what we think our matchup is. And then we're really getting a lock on. Then we just need some threats. Our opponent plays a second fetch land and passes the turn. Of course, they can't cast anything. We draw a Chrome Mox, which is not ideal. We play a Chalice of the Void on 1. The main reason being this is a good catch-all against most decks in the format, whether that be Delver or Storm or pretty much anything. If this is lands, though, it's better on 2. They fetch up a Swamp and a Forest. They play a Dark Confidant off of a played Badlands. This appears to be some form of Jund. Whether it's an aggro loam variant or actual traditional Jund, which is kind of a rare dog in the format, we don't know yet. The problem we have is that Bob can now smash our tits in, and we don't have a threat. I decided to play Chalice of the Void on 2. This means that they can't cast Punishing Fires, Second Bobs, and Goyfs. We go to their turn, and Dark Confidant reveals a Goblin Crater Maker, a 2-mana answer to Trinisphere or Chalice, which now can't be cast. This is pretty good. They then cast, well, they cast Liliana of the Veil. So fun fact about Monored Prison in Legacy, the deck used to deal with Planeswalkers pretty well. Both Fiery Confluence and Chandra both used to do damage to Planeswalkers, meaning that Jace, the Mind Sculptor, and Liliana of the Veil weren't really an issue. Then what Wizards did, they did a massive templating change. So most cards now say they can target a creature, a player, or a planeswalker, or if it's all three, it's any target. The problem we have now is that certain cards during that templating change no longer redirect to planeswalkers, they just don't have planeswalker written on them. Namely, Chandra, Torch Defiance, and Fiery Confidence. 2 4-drops that are played in Legacy Prison and haven't been replaced with better cards yet. This means the deck went from having a favourable, powerful matchup of locking your opponent out and blowing up their planeswalkers to actually struggling to get ahead or beat planeswalkers. That means that this Liliana of the Veil here is one of the best cards they could have drawn. Of course, Colligan's Command blowing up the Trinisphere is probably the best card they could have drawn, but yeah. Or it could have targeted the Chalices. Either way, Liliana and Colligan's Commands are the cards we didn't want to see. They uptick Liliana and we discard the Chrome Box. Dark Confidant gets into the red zone and slaps us for 2. This takes us to 12. We have an Ancient Tomb in play, so actually we're kind of under a lot of pressure here. We untap and we draw another Chalice of the Void. Here is the typical age-old problem of prison decks. You keep drawing the fucking prison pieces and no aggression. I decided damaging myself to play a redundant Chalice or a Blood Moon, which would only turn off the Badlands into a mountain, which doesn't actually achieve anything other than not allowing them to play secondary Lilianas, isn't worth it for the clock. I pass back. Dark Confidant reveals another Dark Confidant, which is also locked onto the Chalice on 2. Lo and behold, Dark Confidant gets back into the red zone and we go to 10. Liliana ticks up, which means she is very close to ultimating. At -6, she can split our cards into piles, and we must choose a pile and sacrifice all the cards that weren't in the chosen pile. It allows her to get rid of one of our Chalices, for example, to unlock Lightning Bolts or Goyfs, and similar. It's not lights out for us, but it's definitely not very good for us. We want to top deck like Legion War Bosses or Rabble Masters so we can get aggressive and slap the Liliana up. Our opponent decides to tap out for another Liliana, perhaps scared of a Rabble Master hitting the Liliana and keeping her away from ultimating. This way they get to strip our hand. The fact that we didn't cast any spells maybe suggests that our hand isn't very good. We have access to 4 mana, so if we had a 4 mana Walker we would have cast it. I'm not sure if this is the best line. Tell me, if you were playing the Jund player's position here, with 2 unknown cards in hand from your red Stompy opponent, would you have cast the second Liliana, or would you have tried to just hope we didn't get a card that could interact with the first Liliana? We are now hellbent, as are they. They have discarded a Hex Drinker, another 1-drop they can't cast to their Chalice of the Void. We drew Legion Warboss. It turned out their gamble on not really relying on one Liliana kind of worked out because, well, now we Legion Warboss them. The problem being that if they had the second Liliana in hand, they could double down tick to kill both the Legion Warboss and the 1/1. Legion Warboss is kind of a poor man's Rabble Master. We go to combat, trigger, make a Goblin. The Goblin attacks Liliana, taking her to 3. Naturally, Legion Warboss and Rabble Master are quite good against Liliana of the Veil because it has insurance in the form of its Goblin compatriot. They reveal Grove of the Burmallows, play it, then play a second Liliana after ticking down and tick down again. This is the 3rd Liliana of the Veil we've seen. We lose Legion Warboss and his friend, and we get hit by 2 by the Dark Confidant, taking us to 6. Things aren't looking good. We drew Fiery Confluence. Now we're shocking ourselves down to 4 here off our Ancient Tomb to kill the Dark Confidant, which is the card advantage engine and attacking damage, and shoot them for 4. In the old rules, we would have killed Liliana of the Veil. And then he ticks up, discarding a Bayou. For some reason, they're keeping Dark Confidant and Crit Maker in hand instead of making land drops. Seems a little bit odd, but what can you do? We draw a mountain, and we play that mountain.
Everyone loves a fucking good mountain.
They tick up Liliana again, and discard a Wasteland, which I would have used to destroy our Ancient Tomb to make sure we can't cast 4 mana threats. We drew a Karn. Yep, that's a 4 mana threat. We play Karn. We go to 2 in order to play this Karn. Our opponent casts a 3 mana through Trinisphere Lightning Bolt in the hope that we don't remember our Chalice trigger. But in Modo, you always remember your Chalice triggers. We uptick Trinisphere, attack Liliana, and kill her. That's right, that's Trinisphere attacking them. They turn nothing on their turn words hard. We downtick our Karn. We go and grab liquid metal coating so that we can start blowing up lands with Karn. We cast it. But I forget that liquid metal coatings are 2-drop, and this is on 2, so we counter our own. We kind of counter our own liquid metal coating. That was kind of, yeah, Magic is hard. We drew another Karn on our turn though, so even if they manage to somehow kill our Karn, we have another one. We're dead currently to Colligan's Command and Bloodbraid Elf. Luckily for us, they've drawn their 4th Liliana of the Veil. Whilst the card isn't terrible against us, 4 of them in a row isn't the best. They uptick Lily, and we discard Karn the Great Creator. Now in our turn, we've got a choice of whether we start slamming into their 10 life with our Trinisphere to kill them before Liliana gets to ultimate. The problem being that Liliana can make us sack our Trinisphere, our only creature, because it's a creature into our next turn. For that reason, we have to attack the Liliana. So we uptick our Trinisphere, attack Liliana with our 3/3 Trinisphere, and take it down to 1. Fun fact, when Trinisphere is attacked and it's a 3/3 creature that's tapped, it no longer increases the cost of things. Yeah, it's an old templating of artifacts where if they're tapped, they don't do anything. Trinisphere and Howling Mine being the most two prominent or famous examples. And we cast a Chalice on 1 into our own Chalice. We were aware of that one. We're just doing it to empty our hand in case we need to down-tick Karn and get an Ensnaring Bridge to stop Goyfs or Hex Drinkers or any other nonsense for attacking us. Liliana upticks to make us discard a card and then discard a card. They discard a Polluted Delta. We untap and we draw an Ancient Tomb, which isn't useful. We tick up Karn onto our Trinisphere and we slap Liliana to death. We currently only have access to 3 mana because our Ancient Tomb being tapped would literally kill us. So we can't really go and get Myxid Blast to lock their mana out because we don't have the mana to cast it. It is on our board though. We find a second Trinisphere, we play it, we uptick on Trinisphere and we attack them for 3. Trinisphere is doing God's work here. Our opponent does nothing, we uptick Trinisphere, attack for 3, taking them to 4, and we pass the turn because we don't have the mana to cast off Pyro Confidence in hand. We draw Seat of Traders, we uptick on Trinisphere, we slap them for 3 down to 1, and second main phase, we finish them off with Fiery Confidence. For the meme, I probably should have cast Fiery Confidence first, would be the correct line for the highest value of lols, so that there was the Trinisphere that finished them off. But ultimately, they still died to an attacking Trinisphere, so I don't give a fuck! And that is how you beat Jund with Mono-Red Prison and Legacy, the new version that plays Karn, the greatest MC in the universe. Yo, 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 yo. I've been Vince, also known as PleasantKenobi on the internet. I hope you enjoyed this quick, short play. Is that an oxymoron? Who the fuck knows? Make sure you click the like button, share this video with your friends, drop me a comment telling me how much you like or dislike this deck in the current Legacy metagame, and I'll see you all very, very soon, probably at GP Birmingham or GP Las Vegas. Ta-ta for now, cunts.
Thank you.